Good morning, beautiful creatures. Just a collective read. If this resonates with you, feel free to like, share, subscribe to my channel. Smiley Senses, Smiley-83. Come through, Spirit. Any messages for the beautiful collective today? There we go. Solitude. A lot of you are in solitude, the same as I am at the moment. Quite often after a dark night of the soul and or periodically during growth, we withdraw and or go into what I call hermit mode. And that is, because we're dealing with a lot in every sense of the manner. And sometimes it's necessary for recharge. As a healer and light worker and reader, an empath, I find sometimes it is necessary to not be around other people while I recharge, because otherwise their energy affects how I recharge, and quite often filling my own cup is a lot easier than relying on others to do that, because people just assume if you're a healer then you must always be okay, but that's definitely not the case. Peaks of joy. Make sure you are staying in your, or following your highest excitement. Make sure you're doing things that bring you joy, to fill your cup and or replenish yourself. Plus, all work no play makes everyone a cranky person. One Ring Circus. For those of you that feel like you're doing it all by yourself, maybe you are. Even if you are, you don't necessarily have to be. Create yourself a network if you need to for support, if that's an option. If not, there are certain places, depending on what you're dealing with, that you can reach out to that will offer support, ongoing and or temporary, depending on what you need. Details. Make sure you're paying attention to the details of what's going on around you, in and around your life. And so far in those 4 cards, we've got 4 threes. And that's the home card. If you have things going on in or around your home, make sure you're paying attention to the details. Just in case you have missed something that really needs your attention. I, with my ADHD, quite often find that sometimes it's the little things like not writing something down when while I'm on the phone if I don't have a pen. So, instead I will ask them to send me a text, little things like that. So, wishing well, for those of you that are doing the work, wish fulfillment maybe on the cards. And you can see there's a little golden mask there. She is sort of looking back on the wishing well. She almost seems like she's in shock. If you've done the work, it should be of no shock that good things come to you. Education. Don't be afraid to learn new things. The ibis sometimes can also represent a child, pregnancy, or a new family member arriving. Maybe you need to get a bit of education in and or around that, and or whatever that part of, whatever the part of that resonates for you is. Slow and steady. You don't need to rush. Take it easy. Make sure you are taking time for yourself. Make sure you are resting and grounding and hydrating and all those good things that I am always telling you to not forget. Make a choice, However, make sure you're making an educated choice. Don't go rushing into it, whatever it is. But there is a choice to be made, and no choice is valid as well. But just know, quite often if you refuse to make that choice, it will be made for you universally, and that generally is the way, because not making a choice is also valid. What else have we got? Spirit, moonlight. Some of you need to do some moon work, like some lunar meditation, and or, maybe you're a bit more into lunar and astrology than most. Don't be afraid to shine. You can see this young lady is, she's got her head buried. Maybe she just needs to look up and see the light. And as you can see, in the darkness there of the moon, there is wisdom. So maybe make sure, you are not just seeing things of shadow. Make sure you are trying to look through things, with a wise perspective, and make sure you're trying to look at the positive side of things, because quite often what we focus on is what we attract, and it doesn't matter whether or not that is worry, because worry won't change the outcome. It just takes away the joy of the moment. Flying, if you do the work and you make the right choices, then you're bound to be flying in no time. Or maybe you feel like time has flown by. If that's the case, make sure you're taking care to appreciate the time that you do have, spending it with people that you love and care about. Magical map shifter, opportunities are endless. You can shift just about anything by shifting your mindset. Make sure you're keeping that in mind. Spirit of place. This one I don't see very much when I do these intuitive reads. What I'm seeing is she has a butterfly wing on her face and autumn leaves in her hair. So, spirit of place, I would say maybe you'll need to get back into nature a little bit more, to help aid you during your transition and or growth, if that is what is happening for you. Make sure that you are not shutting down your intuition. Make sure you're using your intuition to the best of your ability. I mean, that is what we have it for. Sacred pool. Make sure you're spending time in nature and replenishing yourself by spending time in your sacred space. Wizard of awareness. Make sure you are staying aware of your surroundings and paying attention to the signs from the universe. Make sure you are just, being aware of yourself, being aware of your surroundings. Listen to your body. If your body is telling you you need salad, eat salad. If your body is telling you you need sun, get sun. Those kinds of things. A lot of the time in this day and age, we don't listen to our bodies enough, and that is how quite often we become unwell, because quite often the body is craving things, and the only way it knows to tell you that is by telling you that it wants a particular thing, because it can pull whatever it needs out of that particular thing. In saying that, don't just always eat what you want to eat, because quite often otherwise you'll end up with bad eating habits. I just mean, like, how sometimes, when you're on your period, you crave chocolate, or when you are sick, you crave lemonade. They're just a couple of examples. There are reasons why we crave those certain things at those certain times. And don't be afraid to listen to your body. These hard, fast, really strict dietary regimes that a lot of people keep are really actually not good for you. It is not how we were made to be. We actually, and a lot of people are unaware of this, we actually are designed so that we can withstand long winters and hard, dry summers. So, our body is designed that if you starve it, it will store fat. That is how it is designed, and it is designed like that so that we can actually maintain a populace. So anyway, enough from me about diet and health, and I will post up later with another reading. Peace, love, and light.